guys, welcome back. I hope everyone is healthy and happy, and well, stuff is starting to open up. I've noticed shipping is getting a little bit quicker, so I hope we're getting more into, I would say normal, but I don't think we're ever gonna go back to normal after this. But I'm hoping everybody is more comfortable than they were. So I took a poll on Facebook and Instagram, but only like 2 people answered, so it's okay. One of them was like the sagging, droopy eyes, and how I deal with that is I actually, first of all, I don't use like a whole lot of dark colors because that will just age you even more. And if you're like, if you have the, I hate the word sagging and drooping, but if you have the lowered lid, the lowered eyes, the lowered lids, I just stay away from like a whole lot of shimmers, like maybe just like a tad in the center. But other than that, I stick to more mattes. I don't do a whole lot of dark colors. And in today's video, I'm going to kind of show you how I clean up around the eye to make it look like you've got an eye lift. So I'm going to use my Pat McGrath Mothership palette. I've only dipped in this once or twice. The first time I didn't like it. The second time I'm like, what was I thinking? So we're just going to kind of go over that. There's only one matte in here, but I knocked over my mascara in a tray and I said, ouch. I also say sorry to everything. Inanimate objects. Alright, so, but let me just get started. I am going to do my NARS because I think I'm out of the Smashbox. The Smashbox I find actually works better for me than this one, but I'm out of that. As soon as I'm able, I'm gonna get more. Okay, so like on those types of primers that are smudge proof, you definitely want to make sure you're blending out the edges, because if you don't and you put shadow on there, you're gonna see it. It's just the way that it is. When you look at this palette, you're like, what am I going to use first? So, oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, let me back up and start over. Okay, so I'm going to take my 252 brush, and I'm going to go in with this silver right here. And we are going to go all over the lid. These also come out a little bit darker than what I wanted, but we'll make it work. Remember, I pack it on. Okay, so guys, we're gonna move into the crease. I'm gonna take my, okay, let me back up. For your crease, if you've got the smaller, more hooded eyes, you definitely, because sometimes I will take this brush and I'll get it just above the hairline. You don't really want to take it up that high. You really want to keep it underneath that brow bone, like right there, to where like you really shouldn't be seeing it everywhere. So I'm going to take the matte brown, which is right here, and we're going to go in the crease. And do you see how I'm not taking it all the way out, but sometimes that's gonna happen. And that's okay. But you don't want to take that crease above the, like if you've got the, and you see how you've gotten a lot right out of here. It's the most important thing. You really want to blend out your edges. And you definitely want to keep a lot of the dark shadows off if you've got the lowering lids. And because my eyes are not exactly small, but they're not large, I can bring that dark shade. If your eyes are smaller and more close together, do not put dark right in here because it's just going to draw it in. Like, you want to keep it on the outer corners because it's going to draw your eyes out. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with my, again, this is going to be a whole other, I'm just going to throw a whole bunch of crap on here and see what comes out. That's what I do. I'm going to take my color switch, and I think I'm going to add this light shade right here on the top of the lid. I'm sorry, in the center of the lid. To kind of brighten it up a little bit. Alright, so we're going to take this small crease brush again. Go in my color switch, make sure that all the, I'm going to go in with this bronzy color right here. I am not graceful. And we're going to go over the dark brown in the crease. You see I have a hot mess going around here. You don't want to leave it there. Not at all. So now I'm going to color swatch that same brush. And I'm going to go in with that matte brown that we originally put in the crease. And I'm just going to tap it right here. Okay. We still have a hot mess on my lids. Guys, usually when you're doing your eyes, usually it does look like a mess and you're thinking, oh my god, this is terrible. It's not. The end product always comes out. I would be careful about if you're older or if you're of a certain age. I'd be careful how much dark you use. Right now I can still kind of play with it, but you got to be careful because they'll make your eyes look more aged. You want to stick with the light colors, which is something I probably should have done. But I tend to do what I want. Whether there are really no rules in makeup. There's just certain tricks. So I'm going to take my shroom and I'm going to clean up this edge here and down in here too. You can kind of see how that cleans up that the edges, makes them not look so chubby. Okay, so here is what I do to make myself look like I've gotten an eye lift. You can do a couple of things. You can take your brush and you want to angle it like that, and you can do your eyeshadow to where it's not hitting below, but you want to do it angled up. The trick for the lowering lids is to keep all the color on the center of your lid. You can do that. You can get like a little business card or something, tape it up there. You can even get Scotch tape and do that. Hold it up there and then do your shadow and it comes out nice and clean. For me, I'm about to waste a wipe. I take a baby wipe. And I know I already have my foundation on and I can always go back and fix that. But I take it and I clean it up like that. I like the baby wipe. I do. I like that better than the others because it's just, the Scotch tape just kind of irritates me. I just won't do it. And then you just kind of want to take a little brush after that and you want to soften up those edges just a little bit so it's not so blunt. That's why sometimes you'll see me doing like this So, and that kind of lifts up the eye. It doesn't make it look so like eaten up with shadow. But also, what I want to tell you is that for eyeliner, I would not be putting eyeliner underneath my lash line. Don't do that. That's going to make your eye look smaller and more aged. And I would take, I'll just close this up. I didn't want to close it up. I would take like a, oh, that's not, it is a, dang it. No. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. You really want to take a flat liner brush like this. I'll use this for ears. The best thing I would suggest you do is to do a shadow for a liner at the bottom and get something really thin because you want to get it as close to the lash line as you possibly can. And I'm going to use that matte brown. You can wet your brush to make it a little bit more intense, but really a pencil is just going to eat up your eye. And if you already, and you want to kind of connect it. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Eye shape is going to be different than the other. That is normal. The trick is using makeup to make it look more even. Alright, so as far as the eyeshadow, that's what I do. Like, because eventually this is all going to drop completely for me because I can tell it's starting to happen. So that's really what I do. But for right now, I'm going to take a full advantage of my eye space before I lose it all. But really, you just want to lift up the eye, like clean it up like that, and then kind of connect it. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I'm going to take some of that bronze, and I'm going to go over this dark brown. I swear, I make my life so much harder than it needs to be. That's my goal in life. Just take a little bit. Now, most of this palette is shimmer. I really do like my mattes, but right now, I'm going to enjoy the shimmers while I can because I have a feeling in about a year I probably won't. Also, the lighter the shades, the better. The more dark, it's going to eat up your lids. So, let's just go ahead and get finished. To keep the look a little bit softer, I'm going to take the Makeup Forever pencil. And I'm going to line the waterline. Now, I was going to say, like, don't do, I would get used to maybe like doing in the waterline and not underneath the lash line because underneath the lash line is going to make it harsher. But do you see how like thin that line is underneath my eye? I can afford to do this right now. Wash of that brown in the waterline and it's not so harsh. So if you don't want to, I would line underneath your lash line with shadow if you have to, because the shadow is going to be softer than a pencil. The pencil is going to take up way much more room, and it's going to make you look a little bit more aged. So now we're going to go in with the top, maybe. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm going to use my matte fluid line. I go back and forth between this and the Stila. This brush is the best. And I'm just going to kind of if you do a winged angle liner, that also gives you that sharp, crisp look to the eye. It kind of lifts it a little bit. This is the best brush for this. Oh my god. Okay, so you don't have to, my eyeliner got away from me a little bit on the top, so it's a little thicker than I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be kind of thin, and usually I can get it that way, but I've got this neighbor yelling back here because she doesn't know what inside voice is, and I also have a dog that barks, so I kind of lose focus on what I'm doing sometimes. Anyway, so my eyeliner on the top got away from me, and I'm going to use a different mascara today because I got it and I haven't even used it. Was it this one? I just got eyeliner on my shirt. Or I'm going to do, what was this one? Alright guys, real quickly, because my battery is turning red. I only have one battery. I need to get another one, but the biggest takeaway is that I have for you guys is to line under your lash line, if you must, with a shadow, like a light matte brown shadow. And also, when you're doing your eyeshadows, take a baby wipe and clean it up here. It'll give you an instant eye lift. If you don't want to do a baby wipe, do scotch tape, do the edge of a piece of paper. It's going to help lift the eye. Kind of the winged eye will also help with that too, but sometimes you just can't do that. So just, if you'll just do thin, if you must do it, do a thin line on the top to give you some contrast to your eyeshadow. That is it. I'm gonna go pop on some lips because I feel like death right now. Anyway, but I've got no more battery left. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you. If you learned anything out of this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you ring the bell for your notifications, and I will see you guys in my next video.